Hello, Algebra 2 Trig students. Mrs. Leopold here, taking you through Unit 5 about logarithmic functions and Lesson 2. I would strongly encourage you to pause right now and do the warm-up on your own, and then when you have those answers ready, you can check with me. Okay, hopefully you did okay. You can check out your answers here. I highlighted D, G, J, and K. Thought those maybe were a little bit trickier, so I'll explain. Well, D, I don't know if there's really any explanation needed. You can't take 7 to any power and get a negative 7 as a result. It is not possible, therefore that is a no solution. Letter G, again, if you have log, remember there's nothing here, which means there's a base of 10. And 10, the square root of 10 can be rewritten as 10 to the 1/2. Therefore, as soon as these two bases match each other, right, 10 and 10 are matchy, then their exponents, 1/2 divided by 1 is the answer, so the answer is just 1/2. If we look at letter H, or sorry, J, J. So J is log base 1/2 of 8. Well, I'm going to change 1/2 into a base of 2 to the negative 1. I am going to change 8 into a base of 2 to the 3rd power. Remember that now we're going to have, this is our numerator, that's our denominator of our final answer. And so we are going to get 3 divided by negative 1, which is just negative 3. That is a process I taught in my classes. I don't know if your teachers taught it, but if you want to know more about it, you can ask your teacher. Or you can come ask me if you're not sure. Okay, in K, it's log. So this is a 16, this is a 1/4. My common base is going to be 4. So I'm going to rewrite 16 as 4 squared. I'm going to rewrite 1/4 as 4 to the negative 1. As soon as these two bases are the same, then I can get my numerator. My numerator is going to be, I can get my answer. My numerator is going to be negative 1. My denominator is going to be 2. So my final answer is negative 1/2. Right? And there we have it. If you have questions about other problems, then you want to make sure you ask your teacher. Okay, now as you move through the next rest of the lesson, or not the rest of the lesson, but for the next few pages of the lesson, it's an investigation, and you should pause and do that investigation on your own. So go ahead and pause now, go through all those problems from the investigation. I'm not going to take you through that. You can look at the answer key if you need some help, but you really should go through the investigation to learn about the laws of the logarithms. Okay, so from that investigation, you should have discovered the product rule, the quotient rule, and the power rule. So the product rule says if you have log base with a base of b, any base, and you have two things multiplied together, you can separate that as log base b of m plus log base b of n. Or if you had this right-hand side, two logs with the same base, and you're adding them together, how can you put them together? You could go backwards and put them together by multiplying m times n. So you can go either direction here, right? So they both equal each other, so you can go either direction. The quotient rule states that if you are dividing m divided by n, log base b of m divided by n, then you are going to subtract log base b of m minus log base b of n. Or if you had this right-hand side, something in this form, you could go backwards and put it together. So you're either going to expand, which is the right-hand side, or you're going to condense it and put it together like the left-hand side. And finally, our power rule. We take this exponent or the power on m, and what do? We multiply it in front, so it becomes c times log base b of m. So these are your three rules that we're going to use to either expand or compress problems. So let's go ahead and see what that is. Okay, example 1. It says expand the following expressions using the properties of logs. Simplify wherever possible. So the properties we just discussed we're going to use. This is multiplication right here. It's 9 times x. So I'm trying to expand it. So I'm going to take that property, which was log base b of m times n, or whatever those values were, and expand it to log base b of m plus log base b of n. So here, our m in this case is 9, our n is x, so I'm going to expand by doing log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of x. This is the expanded form. I am done. Or am I done? Actually, sorry, I just had a little moment. It says to simplify. If I'm going to simplify, what is not simplified? Well, this right here, log base 3 of 9, is not simplified. I can keep going. Log base 3 of 9 is equal to what? Well, log base 3 of 9, that's log base 3 of 3 squared, plus log base 3 of x. So that's actually, this is going to equal 2 plus log base 3 of x. So apologies, this is now your final answer. 2 plus log base 3 of x. I'm going to do the second one, letter B, and then I want you to pause and try letter C on your own. You can pause now and try letter B on your own. If you want to, please, by all means, do that. But recognize here that you have 6 times x cubed, and then you're dividing it by y. So with this division bar right here, the other rule that we're going to have to use is log base b of m divided by n, which is log base b of m minus log base b of n. Sorry, I ran out of room in my document, so that's what I had to do. So log base b of m divided by n, you put a subtraction. So what do we have here? Well, our numerator is two things being multiplied together. So I'm going to expand that as log base 6 of 6 plus log base 6 of x cubed, because these two things are being multiplied together, 6 and x cubed, so I can expand that with a plus sign. And then I'm dividing by y, so I'm going to do a subtraction of log base 6 of y. Okay, am I done? Well, I'm not done unless I have simplified wherever possible. So I can only simplify if I have all numerical values, and hey, lo and behold, right here, I have all numerical values. So log base 6 of 6, so this is a 6 here, right? Log base 6 of 6 is equal to 1. So my final answer is 1 plus log base 6 of x cubed minus log base 6 of y. So that is my final answer. All right, go ahead and pause and try letter C on your own. All right, did you get 2 minus log of x squared minus log of y? So the most common error here that people tend to make is they forget the second minus. So why do we have minus minus there? Well, if you go back and unravel this, it's log 100. 100 is in the numerator. And remember, there is no base here, so that means it's automatically a base of 10, which is why I put all those little 10s in there. So log base 10 of 100 minus, well, we have to parenthesize here, right? Because we are multiplying these two things in the denominator. So it's minus, and then these two things are multiplied in the denominator, so I have to add them together when I separate and expand. But they're both in the denominator, so I'm going to have a minus in front of both. So then I need to distribute that minus sign, so both of these signs end up being minus signs, right? So you have to make sure you have a minus here, minus here. Now, because this is a log base 10 of 100, which is log base 10 of 10 squared, we end up with a 2. So when we simplify, our final answer is going to be 2 minus log x squared minus log y. And finally, we're going to do the reverse of what we just did. Instead of expanding, we're going to compress. So let's do the first one together, or you can pause right now and try it on your own. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'm going to encourage you to pause, or maybe I'll do A and B like I did last time, and then you can pause and do letter C on your own and check your work when you're done. So compress using the properties of logs, write as a single logarithm, and then we need to simplify wherever possible. So we have a minus sign here. When we minus, we keep that log base 5 the same, but we take 8 and we divide it by 12. Well, that can be reduced log base 5 because we're going to simplify, and 8/12 can be reduced by 4. So 4 goes into 8 twice and 4 goes into 12 3 times. So this would be my final answer. Log base 5 of 2/3. And that's it. For letter B, notice I have this number in front, 2 times log of x. So first I'm going to have to use that power rule, and I'm going to have to put that 2 back on the x as an x squared. And then with my plus sign here, I'm going to have to multiply, right? So that's going to become log. And then notice there's no number here, so that's a 10. But I have my x squared. So I have my x squared, and then because it's a plus sign, I have it times 5. So if I'm rewriting that, I just get log of 5x squared. Can I simplify that anymore? I don't think so. But notice my order of operations. I had to put the 2. The 2 is only being only the exponent on the x, so don't multiply first. You have to do the x squared first, and then you have to go back and multiply by 5. So to condense, this is what you would have. So this is your final answer, log base 10, or just log of 5x squared. And so now I would go ahead and pause and try letter C on your own, and then unpause and see how you did. All right, did you get log base 3 of 4 times the square root of x? If not, then check your work up here. I tried to color coordinate so you can see this log base 3 of 16 I didn't do anything with. It's just log base 3 of 16. The second one, this 1/2 is the power rule, so I had to put the 1/2 on x, so that became log base 3 of x to the 1/2. And then the last one, I didn't do anything with that. Just kept it as minus log base 3 of 4. Okay, now the plus sign. What does this plus sign mean? It means I'm going to multiply these two together. The minus sign means I'm going to take those two, multiply together, and divide it by 4. So I put it just so. Then the 16 divided by 4 reduces to 4. That's how I got this 4 in front. And simplifying, x to the 1/2 is equal to the square root of x. So putting it all together, I just get log base 3 of 4 times root x. And that's it for the lesson. So hopefully the investigation helped you with those laws, the power rule and the addition rule and the subtraction rule, or the multiplication and division. And ask your teacher if you're not sure. Otherwise, get started on your assignment, your practice problems, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.